I'm Kahja Elliott, and I'm a food enthusiast. Bronx born and raised, ATL made, Bay Area becoming. And I talk to people about how they create community through food in the Bay and beyond. Welcome to the As Told By podcast. Welcome to a new episode of the As Told By podcast. I'm here in Oakland for this episode in the Laurel specifically with a team y'all probably know if you're on a dining scene like I am. Stepping into his own venture after working with his family at their Berkeley restaurant, Rasha Cafe, he's added to the landscape of Oakland's diverse culinary offerings. First in the Laurel District with Joe's Modern Thai, which was recognized with the Michelin Guide Bib Gourmand designation for its bold and creative take on traditional Thai cuisine. And next with The Peach, a brunch-themed restaurant in the heart of Oakland's Lake Merritt neighborhood that features nods to brunch classics with an Asian twist. With the recent arrival of new voices leading the kitchen at both locations, he's doubling down on the combination of culture and food in Oakland. Welcome owner Saelee. And we're also joined by chefs Nui Surach and Harold Villarosa of Joe's Modern Thai and The Peach, respectively. Welcome to the As Told By podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yes, I got the crew in the house today.
Thank you.
Okay, we got a full house. So, Cal, I'm going to start with you. Normally, I start the episodes off by asking people what kind of food family they come from, but you've grown up working in the restaurant industry in a family business. So how did that shape your early experiences of food?
Growing up in a restaurant business, just taking care of guests was, really important for us. In a very diverse background, growing up in Oakland, my experience with food was just really being able to experience so many different types of cuisines, being able to experience Latin cuisine, Middle Eastern, Thai, different types of Southeast Asian cuisines really just helped me think about the landscape of what we wanted to provide, for Oakland.
Mm-hmm. I'm always curious when people grew up working in restaurants, are you doing a lot of cooking at home, or is it like we're working in a restaurant, we're not cooking when we get to the house?
Well, I'm not a chef, but growing up, just always seeing my parents cook, they love cooking, they love hosting, they love taking care of people, and that's kind of like what we get our experience from, just, welcoming someone into your home, just offering them something to eat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, restaurants can be like an extension of your home, and so that does bring up a question about the difference between working in your family's restaurant versus running your own, and now two that you're running, right? So even though you're coming in with the experience of having been a part of a family restaurant, what has been your biggest surprise now that you have two of your own to run?
The biggest surprise or challenge, I would say, is really just being able to manage the different personalities of team members. Mm-hmm. Right, growing up in a family restaurant, it was always aunties, uncles, and you have such a big relationship with, right? You know them outside of work personally, and then their personalities, how to deal with them, how to talk to them. But having our own spot where we have different team members from different ethnicities, different backgrounds, coming from different areas, you get to learn the nuances of just people with different diversities and how to work with them.
Mm-hmm. Teamwork. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot. I always say I still have a day job, and I always say I'm an IC to my heart, individual contributor. Mm-hmm. I don't ever want to manage people because it is not easy. So I hear you when you say that. And entrepreneurship isn't easy either. Have you always been an entrepreneur, or what were you doing leading up to Joe's?
I think I've always been an entrepreneur. I was born in it. My family was, my parents are entrepreneurs. Leading up to it, I was first I was project management for a biotech company. Up to that, and I left that, and I did real estate. I did real estate for 10 years. And up to a point of real estate, I really just missed the camaraderie of people, being able to build with people, being able to talk to people. And right after COVID, I sold my last property, and I got into the restaurant industry.
Mm. Okay. But, I mean, a tricky industry to get into right after COVID. You opened in mid-2021. And so that means you kind of had a chance to sit back and watch what restaurant owners just finished going through. I mean, they still were going through it in 2021, but you got to watch restaurant owners go through this complete shift of the way they operate as a result of COVID. Did that make you question if opening a restaurant was still the right thing to do?
Well, I didn't know what to expect at the time. You know, we signed the lease in 2020. We were building, and as COVID was happening, we were just seeing, you know, watching restaurants close, restaurants not open up, and just watching all of the laws and regulations being placed on how to open a restaurant and what to do, right? I think I was so naive at the time. I wanted to open a restaurant. I didn't have no fear of what was going to happen. I just knew that we was going to make it happen. And we had really great people around at the time. You know, we had consultants, we had, you know, team members that are really just excited to build something. And I think that really helped us open by us just being naive and wanted to build something, right? Had we didn't known what it was going to be like, or just knowing the pitfalls of opening during COVID, we probably wouldn't have opened.
That's a bar. How did you end up in the, first of all, let me take a step back because you're from Oakland originally. What part of Oakland are you from? Did you grow up in?
East Oakland.
Okay, then. So what made you decide, for those of y'all who's not in the Bay, the Laurel is a district in East Oakland, but it's just one of many. So how did you decide that this is where you're going to set up shop?
Well, I grew up in East Oakland. I grew up in this area, Laurel District, my stomping grounds. Grew up over here. I went to school around the corner, Fremont High. But just really growing up in Oakland, you know, we used to always travel to San Francisco, to Walnut Creek, San Jose, different areas to experience, to have a different experience in restaurant settings. And, you know, I just wanted to build in a neighborhood where I felt like it was up and coming. You know, in my time in real estate, I saw that this neighborhood, the Laurel District, was up and coming. You know, we used to do comps and valuations, and we saw that the people that were moving in here were, you know, they wanted something in the neighborhood. You know, people buy houses based on proximity to what's available in the area. Coffee shops, restaurants, grocery stores, and so forth. And, you know, I was really interested in, you know, providing for the community. And I saw that this neighborhood was growing, and therefore I invested in the community.
Yeah. I remember thinking that when it first opened and I came out, you know, it was kind of my business to keep myself abreast of what's opening, and I came out and I thought, this is not an area where people, I think, would immediately associate dining experiences in Oakland. It's residential, you know, it feels like a neighborhood area. So I was happy to see this kind of a restaurant open here, you know, and I got on down here and hurried up and checked it out and had such a great experience the times I've been here. Talk a little bit about the process of coming up with the concept for this restaurant, and then also what led you to decide I'm going to expand and then open up the Peach.
Yeah, the concept for Joe's was really just wanting a different experience for Thai restaurants, for Thai cuisine per se. I grew up in a mom and pop Thai restaurant, and I've always wanted to be able to present what Thai food would look like from a different generation, from a different standpoint, right? Being in Oakland with so many different experiences here, how do I package up everything and present that from a different generation standpoint of what a Thai restaurant would look like? You know, the challenge that we used to have was that, you know, sometimes being that it's an ethnic cuisine, sometimes guests would come in and not understand how to enjoy a certain dish, right? And being that you have, from a mom and pop standpoint, you have aunties and uncles and different people that really didn't speak English really well. You know, English was second language, so it was really challenging for them to explain that, you know, and I experienced that, and I wanted to have a restaurant where we had team members where they can go on and explain the journey, explain how this dish was presented, what the thought process was, and how to enjoy it. So really, that's really the concept of coming up with Joe's, and really, Joe's is named after my wife. You know, when I first started dating her 13 years ago, I was telling this story to Chef the other day. She always wanted, everywhere we went, I'll order the salmon, I'll order the salmon. And then I was like, babe, you got to try something else other than the salmon. So, I introduced her to ethnic cuisine, Asian cuisine, and ever since then, she fell in love with it. So it's really just, concept for her.
Nice. That's a good old date. You got a restaurant named after you. Come on, girl. Love that. Love that. And then what led you to decide to expand to the Peach?
Expanding to the Peach really was just our love for breakfast. I'm a morning person. Initially we did a couple of breakfasts and brunches here at Joe's the day before Christmas, just so we can allow team members to have Christmas Eve off to spend with their family. But they still wanted to work, so we did a breakfast service instead of a dinner service. So we did that, and we got a really good reception from it. So just over time, Joe's was doing well at the time, so over time we were just keeping our ears open, and when the location came about, we were excited to be able to get the blessings from the landlord to be able to take over that space, because the Lakeshore Cafe it's a historic, and it's a landmark for Oakland. So being able to take over that is a blessing.
Yeah, and it's prime space. It's right there in the heart of the city, by the lake. There's so much foot traffic. So good to have like another option for folks to pop into for brunch there. Well, I mentioned when we started that we have the whole team here. So we have the chefs that are running both of these kitchens, Chef Nui, Chef Harold. So Chef Nui, I'm going to start with you because you are over the kitchen here at Joe's. And I understand you're an alum of the first season of Top Chef Thailand. Cooking under pressure is no stranger to you. Yeah, thanks so much for being here. So you're from Bangkok, which is a place I've had the pleasure to be able to visit. But it's a place where street food is so prevalent, but you also are bringing experience working in fine dining spaces that reflect lots of different cuisines, French, Moroccan, etc. So what has your approach been in interpreting all of these diverse cultural styles in a way where the essence of the food still comes through?
So I used to work like French cuisine and the Japanese cuisine before, and I feel like I was a soccer player before. So when I play soccer and when I'm working in the kitchen, it's like I feel like the same. Yeah, like playing sport, like working in there, like energy. And I like to like mix with the French technique and Japanese technique to the Thai food. Yeah, French technique is like it's like a basic that most chef need to know how to cook. It's like, especially if you are a chef in America, it's like French technique is really important, the most important. It's like basic for everything. And we use that technique with the Thai food and to create a dish.
Yeah. I love that point you bring up because as you can imagine, I talk to a lot of chefs on this podcast, and many of them have gone through formal culinary training, which always includes French training, right? So you see the evidence of that, even if it's just in technique, you see the evidence of that in the way they cook. But I love this cultural moment that's happening where those techniques are now being married to cultures of food. Many times cultures of foods that were regarded as food from poor countries or, food that was not desirable. And so seeing the reimagining of it through these very precise techniques has been amazing to see. And Chef Harold, you are the chef in charge of the kitchen at the Peach. You also came through the ranks of the Top Chef franchise, but I understand you were born in the Philippines, but raised in my hometown, the thoroughest borough, Bronx, New York. How did you end up in the Bay?
I think opportunity really just came about. 2020, I got an opportunity to open my own place in the Soma district in San Francisco. And it was through, the biggest landlord, the Brookfield Properties. And obviously because of the pandemic, it just didn't really work out. But yeah, and this is my second time around now for coming back to the Bay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm always curious, what are the major differences you observe between the Bronx and the Bay? I know what I've observed.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Bay Area, it's a lot more Asian-centric, I guess, and it's very prevalent to in regards to kind of how people traveled from the East Coast to the West Coast during the gold rush, and then all of those things with the train systems and all that type of stuff. That's why there's a lot more kind of Asian influences in the area here. But that's just in San Francisco, right? But the East Bay is so different, right? It's much more. I feel like it's much closer to the Bronx than San Francisco is. It's a lot more culturally different types of people here, from the Spanish folks and the African American community. So I feel more at home sort of in Oakland than San Francisco. And I think the main tying thread is kind of just like this the food scene that's in the East Bay. You don't have to go to a fancy ass spot to really eat good food. You can go to somewhere international and then find a spot that's going to be like the best tacos, or you go to the best burger spot that's been around for 30 years, but it's a no-name spot. It's not even nobody even doesn't even have a sign sometimes. And then it's the same thing in the Bronx, right? You always find like these hole-in-the-wall Jamaican spots, or even the Chinese hood spots that people have raised generations of families eating Chinese food. So yeah, I think those are the two things that are kind of the same, and makes me feel at home here in Oakland. Yeah,
I love that. You noticed some of the same things I noticed coming here, because I have gotten completely spoiled on Asian food. I don't even really like to eat it off the West Coast because it's so authentic here. And, I'm like, sushi in Atlanta, no thank you. No shade to Atlanta. This is a question for both of you chefs. I would love to hear your perspective about some of the similarities between Thai food and Filipino cuisine, because they're both Southeast Asian countries, and they do share a lot of the same ingredients, but they are still innately different. And Chef Nui, we can start with you.
Yes, like one ingredients that we have the same is the fish sauce. Yeah, it's like we like to put like the fish sauce on almost every dish. Yeah, to get like saltiness, and also it's like the barbecue style of the Filipino. It's like 95% is like close to Thai barbecue style, and it seems like, I think it's like we are the friendship of the culinary culture. It's like a lot of food is like we like use the same ingredients, the culture, and it's like I don't know. It's like when I see the Filipino food, when I try it, I feel like, oh, it's like it tastes like similar to Thai food.
Yeah, I think the only difference is the spice level. Filipino food has been they say the first fusion of the world, right? We started off as Micronesians from Australia.
Oh, I've never heard that term. Okay.
Yeah, so the first people that traveled to the islands of the Philippines were the Micronesians from Australia, and then we also get a mix of people from his part of the land, Thailand, Malaysia, and some Indian folks, and then obviously some Japanese and Chinese influence. And so the food in the Philippines is basically just a hodgepodge of all of that. And the one thing that really ties us together is what we call the funk, right? He's talking about fish sauce, but then there's deeper levels to that. There's sauces that are made with fish sauce that gets marinated for a long time, or even like we were just talking about it, how there's an XO sauce that he made, but it's closely similar to the kind of a sauce that we make also in the Philippines called bagoong, which is also a type of an XO sauce. So we have those kind of cultural threads that we can connect to. And also, Thai people are the same height as Filipinos too. We're all, nobody's taller than 5'9". Nui is like 5'10", but
You're a giant over there.
and I'm like the biggest Filipino. I get confused with being Samoan sometimes.
I can see. I see that. Okay.
And so it's stuff like that. But I think You know, that region of Asia, we call it like the jungle Asians. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the Asians that we eat like really funky, like some stuff you leave outside. You know what I mean? Like you let it naturally ferment outside. You know, lacto fermentation for 4 days. You know, some stuff is bubbling, and you don't know if your stomach's gonna hurt after you eat it or not.
Stomach will be bubbling.
Yeah, but you do it anyways. You know what I'm saying? So you know, just like these old school style of techniques. I think both countries, do the same thing, and so yeah.
Nice. Okay. Makes me excited. I mean, I will say I have my own misconceptions when the Peach opened because, I saw, okay, these are the folks from Joe's opening a brunch spot. I'm like, oh, we're going to get a Thai brunch. But that's not exactly what it is. It's an adaptation of Pan-Asian cuisine, just layered on top of a traditional brunch menu. So I even had to make the adjustment when I first went and visited. Chef Harold, are we going to be seeing any reworked versions of New York-centric food on the menu? Are we going to get like an Asian bacon, egg, and cheese?
Yeah, there's already bacon, egg, and cheese on the menu. There's the bodega sandwich. I think we do it with bacon, egg, hot sauce, ketchup, and we put a little bit of tater tots in there just for fun. And then it's on a brioche bun. I think the one thing that we're trying to figure out now at the Peach is kind of the identity of the Peach, right? I mean, the first time around, from what I've only been there for a month, so the first time around, Cal was really explaining to me how the situation was when they first opened. I mean, they got a lot of buzz because obviously it was a big deal for them to open another space, and all that. But then it kind of just went over people's heads, kind of the style of food they were doing, where it was a mix of this American brunch food with Thai touches, right, or Asian touches. And what we're noticing now for the last month is that we need to really listen to the neighborhood and kind of the clientele that's coming in. And so we do have, like our shrimp and grits has, some of those Asian touches. We put a little bit of Asian touches on our ketchup, or I'll put like MSG in it and like stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I think what we need to really understand is the neighborhood needs to speak to the concept of the restaurants. And I think that's the difference now of how you open restaurants in this second half of post-COVID, because people are super conscious about where they want to spend their money now. So you have to make it worth it for them to come, add value, give them great experience, but also something that they can recognize. And especially in the Lake Merritt section of Oakland, where sometimes we feel like they're stuck in like in a bubble. There's like this kind of thing that they expect. We need to educate, but also we need to cater to the neighborhood to make sure that we get butts in seats. So that's kind of like what we're going through now, which is great because we did like 190 covers yesterday. And it was really just a buzzing restaurant, and people are just catching on to now kind of what we're trying to do at the space. And we're super excited for what is going to come down the pipeline in the next couple months. So
I am too. I saw y'all had a DJ.
Yeah, we got a DJ a couple of weeks back, and so we're just trying to activate the space. It's so big. Lakeshore Cafe was such a huge space, so we want to be able to like create activations in every section of the space to make sure that we're getting our money's worth for how much we're paying for the square footage. And we're also thinking about opening for dinner. The concept is called Peach at Night, and so it's a whole different type of vibe, whole different type of look, different type of dishes. We're thinking about doing a tasting menu, but it's going to be on a lower price.
I love a tasting menu.
Yeah, just on a lower price point, so we can engage the neighborhood again. It doesn't like ostracize anybody that comes to the neighborhood. Doesn't make them feel like, oh, we can't eat at a good spot. It's going to be still cash, but we're doing this tasting menu vibe. So I think the identity of the Peach is being created as we're going through our motions ourselves, and now we're really having that conversation of what this looks like for the future of the Peach.
Nice. All that makes me very excited. I've been once, but this makes me very excited to go again.
Yeah.
Prepare to be sick of me. Chef Nui, you're stepping into a place here at Joe's where there was already really a very cemented feel of what the menu was here. And it can be tricky when people kind of know and love a restaurant for what it has been or what dishes have been associated with it. Talk about some of the things you're doing to put your own unique spin on what diners here can expect.
So right now it's like we're thinking about to open a lunch on the weekend first. I'm gonna go to first for the lunch that we're planning to open on the weekend, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's like I was born in Bangkok and raised in Bangkok, and in Bangkok it's like everywhere you can find the food. Yeah, it's
Yes.
like 24/7. You come get out from the nightclub at 3 a.m. in the morning, it's still like noodle soup waiting for you in the front. It's like they have to serve the food in the temple, at the bar, everywhere. It's like the food is like life in Bangkok. And that's I try to bring in for lunch here. It's about like that feeling. Yes, that feeling that I go in Bangkok, I can find a noodle soup, I can find stir fry noodles. It's like the menu here that I want to put is like quick and fast lunch, and also we're gonna have like $1 oyster. It's like a fresh shark and farm, and we're gonna have like dessert, like street food dessert that they have the vendor with the cart and pour the milk. They're gonna make a milk pudding here too. Yeah, and also the dinner menu that. So right here in Oakland is different from San Francisco, and I try to create the food more exciting, but the people can understand that too. It's not just like eat it, whoa, what is that? Yeah, but the people can see like what is look, how this tastes,
Yeah.
and show the people, training the service to explain the people and show the people how to eat that dish. Yeah, how to understand more culture, not just the food. It's like, oh, this is how we serve in Thailand. This dish is how we eat in Thailand. It's like catfish salad. We wrap with lettuce. It's like a bite. Yes, it's like everybody is gonna see the catfish salad. They're gonna expect, oh, it's gonna be like fish fillet, but we have like so many process. We have to bake the catfish. We have to like mince it first, make it dry, and fry it to the crispy. It's like old school technique in Thailand.
Okay.
Yeah, so in Thailand, it's like we use so many ingredients that you can see like on the liver. Yeah, and it's like they can pick up like from the backyard to come to cook the food. It's like I can say like a lot of people they're gonna thinking, oh, Thai food is so spicy, but at Joe's Mountain Thai we have the spicy level for the customer to choose for the spicy level, and for the Thai spicy, I would recommend for Thai spicy to the new experience. Yeah, yeah. So Thai spicy.
Don't be a sucker.
Yeah.
Get that Thai spicy.
Yeah, Thai spicy is like it just burn your mouth. Yeah, it's not just like deep spicy like for example like an Indian spice with they use the spice and it's gonna burn your stomach or something, but Thai spice is just feeling, just burn your mouth like Mexican food. Yeah, they just burn your mouth and then you have the drink, you have a couple cocktail and then you're good.
That's right. Wash it down with some coconut milk influenced cocktail. You'll live. You'll be all right.
Yeah. So yes, and also create a menu. It's like we're gonna use the charcoal grill that we use a lot in Thailand. In Thailand, it's the old school. Like my grandmother, she like to cook with a charcoal grill. Yeah, and a lot of food vendor on the street in Thailand, they use a charcoal grill that you can see smoke, and when you walk past by, it's like you can smell it, and you have to stop to grab some chicken skewer or pork skewer on the street. So that I try to bring the tasting menu Yeah, for dinner, that like all the dish that is like I gonna grill on charcoal, no gas.
I love it.
Yeah, and we also have the wine pairing. Yeah, if like
Okay.
with like we have like good sommelier that he's gonna come to choose the wine for the dish, and you're gonna have like new experience for the at the Joe's Modern Thai for the tasting menu too.
Okay, so
Yeah.
come with your palate open, and I really do enjoy when I come to restaurants that are based in specific cultures to push myself beyond things that I might have had from that culture already. So it sounds like you are curating good opportunities for people. Yes, come get all the things you know and love Thai restaurants for, but push yourself past that because you're creating some unique opportunities for folks to have some different taste experiences, definitely some different spice experiences.
Yes.
And like they said, get you a good cocktail and you'll cool yourself right on down. And then, Chef Harold, a similar question for you, particularly because Filipino food is so prevalent in the Bay. Is there anything specific you're going to be doing or we can look forward to at the Peach to kind of turn Filipino, up to something that we've not seen before?
Yeah, when we do the pizza at night, some of that stuff is going to be Filipino influenced, Southeast Asian influence. We're also working with local bakers. We were running some pastries from Harina Bakery out of, I forgot where she's from, but she's a local baker. And we had like ube mochi cookies for our display case, our what do you call that, pastry case that we were selling. We were doing cassava cakes. We were doing all type of stuff for our pastry cases. But yeah, in regards to kind of just Filipino touches, I think that will be a little bit more geared toward Peach at night. I think for us, what's really working out at the Peach right now is that breakfast with a little bit of Asian touches to it has really just been the driving force behind getting people to come in and eat. Like I said, there's something recognizable that they know, but we use high quality products, and we're just really just giving them something that's consistent and that can be executed properly. And I think that's really exciting people right now is being able to come back to a space where they know that every time that they come back, it's going to be this way they wanted to cook. You know what I mean? And so yeah. That's
Okay.
it.
All right. We'll be there. Peach at night. Y'all get ready. Cal, I'll come back to you. I'm losing track of time, but I feel like it was earlier this year during Oakland Restaurant Week that you participated in the Food Future Summit, which was running concurrently with Oakland Restaurant Week. And I remember sitting in on a panel where it was you and a number of other restaurateurs, the folks from Oak Deli, Chef Nelson Herman. Y'all were talking about working with the community, specifically the community of influencers, in a way that feels mutually beneficial. So you have these concepts, you have these restaurants where you're making all of these amazing plans. What do you think is, I'll put it this way, what has been for you the most beneficial thing of partnering with the influencer community to really work in a way that's advantageous for the restaurant and for them?
Working together with influencers, I think as business owners, you have to find the influencers that have a target audience that's looking for the type of food you're serving, right? We spoke about it before at the panel. Let's just say you have an influencer that's from New York that comes by. Their demographics in New York, so like if you have an influencer from New York that does video for you, sometimes that might not lead to any traction for the restaurant, right? So really just looking for influencers, not big influencers, but micro influencers, people in the area that are familiar with your food, familiar with your demographic, and just making that alignment so it can work for each other.
Yeah. There's so much conversation about that. That could be a whole separate podcast episode, but there is, it's got to be a fit, and it's got to be
Absolutely
a return. Businesses want to be in partnership, and this is something I've talked about separately on other episodes. Businesses want to be in partnership with the community. They want to leverage people's audiences to showcase what is there, but it has to make sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You have navigated the difficulties of running a business front facing, and I think the difference in the restaurant space versus other spaces is people get to go through their ups and downs of business, and it's not on the front page of the paper, right? But in restaurants and chefs, it's just a little more sexy, and it's out there. Looking back, what do you wish you maybe had done differently?
Looking back, I think communicating more. Doing differently, I would communicate more. But running a business is tough, right? Sometimes you make decisions. In any business, you make decisions and you got to live with the decisions you make, right? We're all human. We make decisions. Sometimes they're good decisions, sometimes they're bad decisions. But as a business owner, you live and die with those decisions you make, And, sometimes looking back, I really wish we just had more communication and more systems in place to where, like, things don't get misconstrued down the line. Maybe just being to openly communicate more often.
Yeah. Well, to that point, I'll close us out with one final question. Given that sentiment you just shared, what do you want people to know about the road ahead for Joe's Modern Thai and for the Peach?
The road ahead, we have two amazing chefs on board, great culinary backgrounds, and really just a deep passion for the love of cooking. And we want to continue to build on what we have here and continue to just try out new things. We're listening to people, we're listening to our guests. They're coming through the door, they're expressing what they're wanting for us, and we want to just continue to work and become better every day.
I love it. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure many of you listening are looking forward to coming in and experiencing everything that is new. Tell people where they can find information about both Joe's Modern Thai and about the Peach.
They can find us at the Peach Brunch on Instagram and at Joe's Modern Thai. Our website is live. We will be out. Chef Harold and I will be out a lot. Chef Nui will be out a lot, just promoting, just being out there and just letting people know that we're here and we're trying to provide a great experience for everyone.
All right. Go have a great experience, y'all. If you want to find me in between episodes, you can find me either at kayinthebay.com or at Hey K in the Bay on Instagram. I've enjoyed meeting and talking with y'all. Cal, we run into each other in the streets often. But Chef Nui, Chef Harold, this is my first time meeting y'all. So I'm so excited to circle back to these restaurants and experience what you both uniquely are bringing to them. That is this week's episode of the As Told by podcast from the Laurel in Oakland. I'll see y'all on the next one.